Jamgon Kongtrul Rinpoche, Jamgon Kongtrul Rinpoche, Ozondu Yungo Zado, Dodan, Simjan Damjeju, Chosun Rover, Chinja Labdozo, Cholamdo, Chinja Lamjuba Zawar, Jinja Labdozo, Treba, Yezo Jawara, Jinja Labdo, Gandajo, Dongin Jedena, and Deshik Lomarjo. Kansoda, Nindradambe, Chuji Jambe, Terra Nyambran, Duba Damje, and there is. Tataring Keransola, then that Tungurki, one toba Indu, then a one Tamsikti, then that Junchers in Yamsulango Yore, this one's a Indu, then a Taring, Tungur Lenjik, Yamne, the Dubandig, or Latine. Yes.
Now we have received the Kalachakra Tantra initiation completely, and Rinpoche will explain about the spiritual commitment, about the practice in a very brief way.
Tene otatindes do tene tarel tungol henjeki tene gomdeti tene tisjare yes. Tene ma 시체단 게 ngaran susanga dorji tekbala ane zawasum sene yores zawasum ti tene ta chenab ke zawa lama tene ngodu ji zawa yedam tene ji zawa chugyong sene zawasum sene tene sene sanga dorji tekbala yore tene Tindu, then Zawa Sumti, then a check to Zobek Gone, then Aranzo Sanadorji take a church in Yams Lango Yores. Tere, then it is Zawa Sumti, Sasan check to Zoma Tuba, then a Tovene, then the Sanga church, the Tartubas in Yamne Kalachakra, they indu, they contest and check to Zog.
So we'll be explaining the brief practice or daily practice of the Kalachakra Tantra. Now generally speaking, in the Vajrayana and secret Vajrayana or Tantrayana practice, we have to consider the three important roots. And when we talk about these three important roots, it is the Lama, Yidam, and the protectors. For the blessings' sake, for the purpose of receiving the blessings of the transmissional lineage, you have the lamas, and to accomplish, for the purpose of getting the accomplishment or the siddhi, then you have the yidam. Then for the purpose or for the benefit of the activity aspect of the whole Dharma, then you have the Dharma palas or the protectors. So when one is practicing the Vajrayana or Tantrayana practice, these three roots should be combined. One should fulfill all the necessary of these three roots. Without having completed or having these three roots in one's practice, so no Vajrayana or Tantrayana practice can be complete.
That is awesome. Tene yewe kapsula, tene soso kaga shebe kapsula, tene chenabki zawati lama, ngotubji zawa yedam, tene je zawati, tene chogyong da kandola soba tene shego yore, tene te mone cheba yina, tene zawa sungati, tene lama ki ngol dugu yores, te kandes ji dugu yores na. 다 진압지 자와 라마 세야티 라마 텔라양 라마라 테네 문진주 망부요 테네 던지 라마 당 테네 베나 치 라마다 난글 라마스 테네 테네스 요레 테네 치 라마데 컨데지레스나 다다티 다 소소게 테네 담배 초양타버 두버 제발라 tene khandes dubgugu yobata gewa khandes dubgugu digba khandes panggugu yobata tene nyamne khandes chegugu yobodu titong khen ki gewe shenye chigugu yor gewe semji neluti pena sem korang ngo di tires ina ya tanda ngo ma shidu tene semgi neluti ngo ma shidu tene chunru yo re ako songa sonzi ni ge churu yo re tene ngo she to ba ina tene ten sonza tene lame tu da rang semni ni su me ba re se ya de anda tisig yo res.
The ultimate Lama is the mind of the Lama, which is the essence of the Dhamma, or the Dhammakaya aspect. The definition of the Dhammakaya is free from the four borders and free from every kind of 8 types of different fabrications, and it is emptiness in the wisdom aspect. Now, when we talk about this ultimate Lama, which is the essence, the Buddha nature, or the Dhammakaya aspect of the mind of the Lama, which means it is free from any kind of a defilement and obscuration. It's completely liberated or eradicated from any kind of obstacles and obscurations and defilement. And that is the Dhammakaya, which is the ultimate meaning, or ultimate essence, or the ultimate truth of the whole phenomena. That is free from, which means free from death, stagnation, and cessation, or birth. This is the definition of the Dhammakaya. And when on the ordinary level, we ordinary beings do not have this quality of the Dhammakaya, because we have all the defilements and obscuration that has to be purified. And when it is purified, and that mind of the Lama, which is the Dhammakaya, is no different from the one's own mind when it is purified. Therefore, essentially, one has to have this confidence and the realization or knowledge that in truth the mind of the Lama and your own mind is same, inseparable in the ultimate quality of the Dhammakaya.
다 라마스치네 디스기요레스 데네 다 데인두 다셈 코랑고 동바트이클라 데네 다 독스진 시야기요 다 예담세연도 가는 거는 생각이요라서나 데네 ngoransin sem korang ngoransin di majuba tongba yimbala tene ine tongba reside khaya meba tene sungde tene gyunda masonan ga songa yimba khaya meba tende mares akosunga tene rangsi tongba yimbala tene tene namba manga bege chajiyo res akosunga namba manga bege chathela le tene nandu yidam gha tene 진주 남면다 대가는 속에 고대 다 이담 사트 뭐 오늘 원 진사디 되는 진고고요. 그래서 고소한 되네 될라 되네 오늘 이담도 되래 되네 되게 당하는 속에 디 relate 제베 값솔라 되네 산제도 전주 선바 탐제 투제 그 뭐남나 또 때네 되네 이담 그 산담 면다게 고이 그 남배 동주 쪽배 고이 남바 때네 tene simjeng ro chen zege yore tela yedam chene ta jik 가서 오래 다 하나도 이담라 tene ta 산다면 뭐 여러 봐 얘나양 오네게 yedam chene 사 수르도 yedam 그 사초 여러스 chene 사직을 예베직도 텐데 톤에 말해스 하고서
The ultimate Lama, which is the true nature of the mind, Dhammakaya aspect, which we have talked about now. Now, when we talk about this Yidam aspect, and what is this Yidam aspect is, the essence of the Yidam is, by its nature, by its condition, it is emptiness. But when we talk about this emptiness, it is not just empty, there's nothing in it, but emptiness, which is having the characteristic and quality where there is a space, where there is a possibility of no stagnation, no obstacles. There is a clarity in it. And that clarity aspect of the whole truth, it is the fact in which all the possibility of a manifestation of different aspects of the Yidams by the force and by the power of the prayers of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they can manifest in the Sambhogakaya aspect, all the different yidams. And that Sambhoga aspect of the different yidams, all different types of yidam and different manifestation out of the emptiness, which has the characteristic of clarity. That is the yidam aspect. When we are speaking about the yidams and meditating upon it, it is not that they do actually exist someplace in somewhere, like they have their own realms and they are really present there. It is from the emptiness aspect, which has a characteristic of the clarity. That clarity aspect is the possibility to manifest some Bogakaya aspect of the different aspects of the deities.
This one's then around Yedam Gala, say Gombe capsule, Yamne Chebe capsule, Yedam Gala, say Mun Zimbe capsula, then Mune Yedam Gala Kain body. Then it's also how quiet catching brace. Timato, Chick Pa, number some gilatene, Tabanangan to Fatisha by your Tanganan. Then the Tagana is like good Jasha by your. Then this say and do Chick Yedam Glas to Chick Mune Chidang around to Jigden Behana Shinchi. Chick Yodeba Chidan Chick. Then they Chick Susuke, some no tani, Tit Drubaina. Then around to Mone Sanga Dorji take back he, then a Lamla Shune, then a Yedam Gala Yamni Chavati. Jum said tell it any, then a lam ghetto nig, remember nig going to Drugoya Jum Senti, then a tambo, Jabe remember to Gongoya Jum Sent the Carresana, Tandang around Sola, Kanchena Yang, then a Ninzing Tobayore. Ninzing Tobayova Matse, then a Tamchel Zimbayore. Hakoswa, then a Nasambachita, Shen Sambachita, then a Tagana, then there is somebody Zimbayore. Then Zimbati you do, then Zimbati, then a Shigu Yore, Zimbati Shiala, Trubare, then a Ninsin singer the Yomare, then a Trubares, and a Shotamje Maju, Mo Trubiomara, Dongbani, Race and a Pa, Tagas, and a then a Tix Kora, Sem, Rigbeg, Hako, some jigge, then a Tigomshabege, the turn Bana Hakobeg, Tabayomare. Agosuma, Magove Matse, Bana Tilla Susuge, Shadage, Kashe, get in a struggle, Starchigayore. This one's a Hindu. Sangaki, Lamsing it, top caber to Pagwa Hindu. Then a nurse, then a Koran took the Pagan. Chigayomar, Tikan and Machebati, Jig Kasewore, then a Makas, and Magabakayamare. Carres and a pen of Danzin de Vagina, Danzi sing at the Tane, Truby Vagina. Then a Gani, Mabas Soko Yorba. Danzi sing at the Tane, Truba Mabasonza, in a time with the Gagoyachi Kaya Yomare. Agosuma. God Nepang go you ever marry. They do this one's Anthony. You say tell Dene, Benata, Pa dancing at the Truba, your marriage, dancing your marriage, Pa Gagway get Sabla. Then the Bena Yidam Gata, Bena Dagi, Gongoya, you sent it to that today. Then a Benangara, that Bena dancing a jiggy, dancing Giore, T, your marriage, Pa Magava, Chene, Tikoran, then a Tapki, then a T-Sine. Then it pa Tagbeg Nambala Julia. Akoso, Tandanga, Samia Matavare, Carres and Nassing at the Zimbachene, then a nearing Chadang Tobachi Yorba. Akoso, T, then a Yidam Gilai Nambala Pa Gone, then a Tia, then a Turshin Doge, then a Koran Casore, Tanda Kond Seven and Shingi, then a Tawat, Manoroic Tone, Susuki Yamnian Tabachi said to Bayina, then a Monegi.
Now, when we are practicing and applying the Yidam practices in a sort of a meditation and in a paths, and when we try to recognize and have some concept about the Yidams in their different aspects and different manifestations that are being presented to oneself in the form of paintings like Tanga, in the forms of statues, or in different aspects like we should have this clear understanding and the knowledge that all these yidams are actually not really existential like what we might think. Like we should not consider these yidams like any one of the worldly god, that they do exist or they do really live like presently living like. And if one go through these practices on the yidam practices with this view that these yidams, in whatever manifestation they appear, they are actually existing, and do the practice, then it is wrong, like approach. It's completely a wrong approach. Therefore, in the secret Vajrayana practice or Tantrayana practice, we have this very skillful methods or the means in which we do the meditation, such as generating stage and then the dissolving stage or a completion stage, as a very effective and skillful means or path. And why we do this is, the main purpose and main reason behind this very skillful purpose is to cut this dualistic concept we have, like from the very beginning, out of the habitual tendency. All of us have this dualistic concept. Not only have this dualistic concept, but we stick to this, we cling to this. To lose this clinging to the dualistic concept, we do this meditation on the generation stage, where we generate the deity, then the completion stage, in which we dissolve that. When we intellectually understand whole phenomena is emptiness, they are essentially do not have the inherent existence, and they are not materially composed, and they are empty. Intellectual understanding is not enough. Through intellectual understanding, one may understand and know it is all empty, but one will not be able to realize it. That is why, on top of this intellectual understanding about the emptiness of the whole phenomena, we apply this very effective and skillful means of a Tantrayana. And in the path of the Tantrayana, we are not blocking. We are not just refusing, and we are not just blocking that the ego clinging. Like, if there's something existing, there's no need to block. Like, but we are clinging to something which do not exist originally, doesn't have inherent existence. And instead of blocking it, just refusing it, we are applying this very effective and skillful means in which we transform that ego clinging into emptiness through the method of a Vajrayana and Tantrayana practice. And like, we all have this very strong clinging to oneself as me. And in the Yidam practices, like when we do this Yidam practices as a skillful means of a Tantrayana, we transform ourselves in the form of Yidam, put ourselves in the aspect of the Yidam, and do the meditation of the generating stage. Then you dissolve the generating state into emptiness. In this way, we are applying this very skillful means in which we are transforming this ego clinging, and clinging which is clinging to something which is not really existent, into through the application of a meditation such as the Dzogrim and Kerim, we now dissolve the clinging gradually and transform into a purer aspect of emptiness. And we have also spoken about the view, the perfect view that is necessary when one is entering into the path of the Tantrayana. And without having the mistaken view, one should apply this method or skillful methods such as this Kerim and Dzogrim.
That's this. Then tuksman dömbeke kapsula. Then bena tangbo sosu rani yedam ke phala jeya ta. Then thi jesula. Then thige then yishiba jenden ya ta. Then thela chöba phuya ta. Töba phuya ta. Then daga nanshin ke da sosu ke sowa dabya da then mangmu yore. Then then daga nanshin ke ben dunje na bujil chömbeina. Then tangbo dunje ke ha je. Then je be ma se thela yishiba jenden. Then thela tem. Then thela chöba phu töba phu. Then ben je 당고 좀 자로 나서 된 슈. Then is yore ba. 그 거be 좀 센데 간데스레스나 오늘에게 전 담배게 단다 나도 이담 거 사랑라 되네 쳬바 푸네 되네 가와지다 마 푸네 Magawala Sobeke, Jigdembe Hanan Shitendeg Mares. So Karesana, Maransola, to the number gondola, turning Maransu, Miss that Zimba Maransu, Benham Marantu in a Kalasagu Yorba. Then it Taganasi, me, Tobatan, and Anzo Gabayore. Taganasi, Shandan, Yapirona, Shurona, and so is a few that is not a Siriorba. Said that Tindu. 뒤준도 하나도 간데스 지기 알아서나 되네 제단게 라와다 도바 레도 니게 토네 되네 된수 지기 알아서 손다 땡 하나 좀 마다베 나왔어요 다티 되네 장외게 천체라 다발라 장 천체라 되네 이담게 사이게 남바 된데스네 되네 쳬바표 더바표 된데스네 단 너나 이담게 배당 하나 좀 냠는디 저도 남바 건돌라 뒤중기 밑에라 팽고래서야 전다 됐어요. 아마도 지금 가시에서는 이런 걸 하고 배는 하나도 쳐줘야 되다. 믹스에게 되네베데 가서 그래 담반도야 된서 상마직 뒤중기 던져왔잖아 매대반다 그렇지. 뒤중들을 팽받잖아 이 매반다. 싸우니는 말이지. 하고서 되네 하고도 되네 배는다 이런 걸 하 만다와 된서 가시라 군도 장세 만다와 차 망뇨다 남 맨다 망부여. tenzu re la Koran goba re 하고서가 되네 디 배나 다고라 장양 천체를 요래스 되네 텐주 되네 다가스 전에 되네 배나 소소의 샘게 파스네 되네 요제간가 독삼 샤베겐 되게 요 말에 되네 단다 나나도 유 배나 이담 걸 하텐주 숭바 텐주 간가 탐제 쿵 독사도 율 또고 요래 유 텐주 되네 산지가 송샤베게 유장자래 되네 산지가 수 간데진 송바레스나 코란 심제 강한 강도르기 토네 아니 코란 배나 탐지 팀비 이식 토네 송고 요래 마도 되네 된데지 소나티 찬직분도 차 죽서야티 되네 배나 가서 그래 가시라 단다티
it's a very natural aspect of the beings. We have a clinging and attachment. Like there's always some kind of expectation, hope, and doubt, and that is the impure aspect of the mind. When it is free from any kind of attachment, which involves hope and doubt and expectation, that is pure aspect. And the reason and the purpose or benefit that comes out of doing these sadhanas, where you involve all this different visualization, that you visualize yourself in the aspect of the deity, and then you welcome and invoke the wisdom aspect and dissolve into you, and you are completely purified and inseparable from the wisdom aspect. reason that wisdom aspects of the deities, they do not have this clinging and attachment, and they do not have expectation and doubt, so forth. So to have this quality in oneself, which is free from any kind of clinging and attachment, we do this practice. It is not that the pujas are done just for the sake of puja, and it does not have any kind of relationship with the daily life, no sort of a connection with the daily life. One should apply the meaning and essence of these practices in the daily life. For example, so that we are free from this defilement of our consciousness or mind, which is always involved with attachment and doubt and expectation, so forth. And this is the purpose. Every practice should have a direct influence and direct effect upon one's own life, so that you can integrate every practice into the path of your existence, in your way of attitude, in your way of thinking, in your way of your living. Now when we are doing this Vajrayana practice and having different aspects of the deities, some are with the 6 arms, some are with the terrible face, and some are with the peaceful face, and many different aspects are there. We are explained that when it's a restful aspect, it is sort of an antidote against the aggression. And when one deity, certain deity has 6 arms, which is symbolizing the 6th perfection. When such things are existing, which is plenty in the Tibetan Vajrayana thing, it is not just a creation out of a clever fantasy of a person, just to have certain connection and then have explanation to that. It all comes from the Tantra. It is all rooted within the Tantra teachings. And who taught the Tantra teaching is the Buddha. Buddha taught. The Buddha, through his all-knowing or omniscience, a wisdom, taught all these different aspects of the Tantra, in which he gave the different aspects of the divinities or the yidams with the different forms and different aspect and different appearance, with the purpose of suiting different individuals who have a different predisposition for their practices, and they have a different capacity and different potential, to fit into each different variety of the karmic disposition of the beings. Buddha taught all these different tantras in which we have a different manifestation and different aspect of the deities. Now whenever you do whatever kind of yidam practices, for example Kalachakra, yidam practices, we should have the essence of the practice not mistaken, and the right view should be there, and have that effect integrated into one's own daily practice and daily life.
Tene ota tene sonza tene di ha kuguyo tene temena ana sosuge gomya yedam ge la gomguyo ba ina yang tene tela tene sos di maranso ta semba shuna 오늘 요래 삼바단 좀 근데 슈나 근데 디 슬라고 이담고 하기 냠네 지금 요나에 대 양담은 누구요 말에 좀센 텔라 때네 때네 제름 곰베 그 값솔라 때네 디기 때네 쩐디 용야 년가 요발 때네 때네 다도 때네 조름 곰네 dissolving stage 그 곰고베 좀센데 단다 테레 스케름나 때네 셴바마 쇼베게 단다라 도비어레 삼베 셴바마 쇼베 조름는 곰네 tene zorim de gombe kapsola yang ya zorim de go yo mares chene tajido tene tongbale shena yang te chebartawa ta songo yo tel tene sungju ko le ya dane ta node remba na bate tene tuksene ta goya de tonda teles tene sindu ota tela ta nona yidam se de yidam ga hadi tene tana sem koranki tene salam number manga be chatele yedam class chen du segeyore dumse tele tene bena ta ngara zo pardo ki kapsul shege do 파도 값으로 파도라 당부 렘바스 전에 렘베게 둔데스 책에 열어봐. 근데 파도 당부 그 값으로 근데 시외서 차르스도 간스게 열어서는 템 코랑 ngo랑 신 동바 네 값으로 근데 다 소소가 ngo시에 톤나 값으로 근데 용거 열에 잘게 열에 다 ngo시에 마톱 근데 춘로도 근데 배낭 나나서 파도 들어 코란즈 망불로게 열어봐. 근데 장르고 요새야 동아 되네 파도 200 값소라 되네 단다디 저 되네 자와랭아도 용알아 소베게 되네 단다디 당부 시베가 하줘도 되네 조열 하줘 렘베체네 자와 치료 담바르게 되게 되네 렘베게 차고 요송야티 되네 뭐서 되네 베트 사트인데 돈이 샤는 죽는 용부여스게 말에 뒷값소라 때문에 샘 코랑게 되네 당 망가봐 나바 망가봐 될 때네 되네 이담 야오시르가 사조든 준데스잖아요. 철게 요래. 근데 대값으로 근데 소소게 두준 냠내다고 야고 요나. 근데 이담 같은 수치를 준데스 배나 가야 매봐. 소소 쌈기. 근데 뭐이 뭐 하거든. 뒤도 저거 요스잖아요. 나한테 소야돼. 근데 되는 좀제 될 때네 단다 이담 같아 냠낸다면 제야도 개체 뭐 임be 좀제 근데 대값으로 근데 단다 샘게 쌈네 소연이 공부여 봐. 디값으로 되는 원에 쌈네 소 먹어봐 코랑 없네게 되네 론주도 고기란 신지다 디값으로 소소 철게 열에 되는 되게 멋이에도 마부처가는